This presentation is a collaboration between Dr. James Chowan, Dr. Sarah Mann, Dr. Gordon Cook, and the Workforce Planning Boards, and will provide an analysis of the Employer One survey data collected in 2017 with a comparison with the 2015 and 2016 data. Given that this is the third presentation in the series, we would recommend that you view the videos of the 2015 and then the 2016 analyses prior to watching this video to understand the background of the project and to better understand the analysis and comparison presented in the video. As a reminder, while each of the workforce planning boards conducted analysis of their own region, our research was able to aggregate all of the data from all regions and analyze at an aggregate level. Our research also allowed us to examine the mean of the entire dataset and determine which regions were above and below this benchmark for each variable of interest. Our analysis also provided an opportunity to highlight which findings were statistically significant, as well as the difference between those findings that were substantially versus statistically significant. A significant amount of time was spent cleaning the data to ensure that all missing data were treated consistently. Locally generated results may vary if missing data are treated differently, which can result in comparisons between regions being imprecise. In other words, while each region conducted their own analysis, some regions included organizations with missing questions, while others discarded entire organizations with missing questions. This made it difficult to make comparisons across regions using their own individual analyses. Therefore, we are able to provide comparisons across regions with our aggregate analysis by treating all missing data consistently. The purpose of this video is twofold. First, to present the 2017 data analysis, but also to present the comparison between the 2015, 2016, and 2017 data. The next two slides present the descriptive statistics for the number of respondents by region and by industry. Throughout this video, we will go through the slides quickly, keeping in mind that you can pause the video at any time to view a slide in more detail. The next slide shows a comparison of key variables and the change from 2015 to 2016 and 2017. It is important to point out that the differences may not be entirely due to changes in outcomes, but rather the changes in sample composition could be contributing to the observed differences. For example, if more large organizations, in terms of number of employees, replied to the survey in 2017 compared to 2015 or 16, this could be the main contributor to why the mean total number of employees declined over the period. Thus, it may not be the case that organizations are hiring less, but that the samples made up of smaller organizations who hire less. It should be noted that over the 3-year period, there has been a consistent increasing trend in the use of a recruitment agency and a decreasing trend in the amount of training provided. On a good note, there has been a decreasing trend of positions being hard to fill. The next 7 slides present the 2015, 2016, and 2017 results for each key variable by region. Again, we're going to go through these slides quickly, but you can pause the video at any time to view these slides in more detail. The numbers are presented in both a table and a graph format on each slide. The next 7 slides show each variable by industry by year. Again, please feel free to pause the video if you want to view any of the slides in more detail. This chart provides the correlations between the variables of interest and the changing correlations from 2015 to 2016 to 2017. For example, in 2017, there is a correlation of 0.36 between planning to hire and finding positions hard to fill. This positive and significant correlation demonstrates that organizations who are planning to hire are also likely to find those positions hard to fill. And that correlation has increased from 0.22 in 2015 to 0.34 in 2016, and now 0.36 in 2017. Arrows in any given cell in the table demonstrate a consistent trend over the 3-year period. There are some very interesting findings on this slide. For example, if we look at the first column, we can conclude that the larger the organization, the more likely they are to experience more separations, hire more, use a recruitment agency, find positions hard to fill, plan to hire more, and are offering higher levels of training. Also of note is that organizations who are experiencing more separations are also increasingly likely to find positions hard to fill. In addition, there's an increasingly positive relationship between organizations planning to hire and finding positions harder to fill. There's also a consistent, increasing relationship between those organizations planning to hire and those using a recruitment agency. The next slide shows whether each region was higher or lower than average on each variable in 2017. A down arrow indicates that the region is below the average on that variable, and an up arrow indicates that the region is above the average on that variable. Note that the red arrows indicate a change in direction from 2016. This chart can be difficult to interpret given that some variables are positive and some are negative. For example, a down arrow on the hard to fill variable can be considered a good thing. So the next slide presents the same information but presented in a different way. For the good variables, the up arrow becomes a plus sign, but for the negative variables, namely separation, using a recruitment agency, and finding positions hard to fill, the up arrow becomes a negative sign. This chart can be used to present an overall picture of each region. More plus signs for each region could be considered to be good news for that region. We can get a picture of each region by examining this slide in more detail. Again, the red signs indicate a change in direction from the 2016 findings. We would ask that you please cite this presentation with our permission. Please email us at the email addresses provided with any questions, feedback, or thoughts you may have on interpretation of the findings. We look forward to hearing from you. We also would like to note that we are currently working on the 2018 data analysis. We are also examining any policy changes that occurred from 2015 to 2018 so that we're able to examine their impact on the key variables. We look forward to hearing from you if you have any feedback. Have a nice day.